Welcome to the Improve It podcast. Improve It peeps, we are picking back up with our conversation with the one, the only Heather Vickery. Today's episode is so fantastic. And if you didn't listen to the episode before this, episode 154, please check it out. You're going to hear an incredible story from Heather of her own story with bravery. And today we are getting into this concept of really liking and trusting yourself, how to do it, how to make brave leaps, how to like and trust yourself as you are in this moment. So let's get back into this conversation. Again, if you missed episode 154 of the Improve It podcast with Heather Vickery, check that out. Here is part 2. So you went from this picture perfect life to a life that you had imagined but didn't know how to get to. And through that, you found this through line of self-love. So how does somebody accomplish self-love? How would you say, in your opinion, one gets to self-love?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. What a big question. And I did hear you say, and it makes me so filled with joy to hear you say it, liking and trusting myself. After almost 10 years of coaching, you add on the 18 years of event planning ownership above that, I finally, this past December, in this moment of aha-ness, thought, that's what I help clients do. I help them learn to like and trust themselves as this version of them so that they can do all of the things that they dream and desire and what their soul is here to do and what their purpose is. Because we often think we're going to like and trust ourselves when we get there. And we're not going to like and trust ourselves when we get there if we can't like and trust ourselves right here and right now. We can't do incredible, badass things unless we can build from what's already working and what's already good. And that is a core of what I help people do. And that's the foundation of self-love, right? Is liking and trusting yourself. I have a certification in positive psychology and I love it and I'm grateful for it. But we're not talking about toxic positivity here. I am not here to pretend that some things do not suck, that we don't have negative feelings. What I'm here to help people do is understand that alongside all of the things that might suck, there's also probably something good and you can hold on to that and you can build off of that. And, self-compassion work, if you're not following Kristen Neff, y'all should. She's amazing. Oh my God, she's like the queen of self-compassion. And what she teaches is to welcome all of your thoughts and feelings and emotions without judgment, to just look at them and say, this is making me feel really angry or really frustrated or really bitter. Why? What is that? And do I want that or do I want to shift something and do something different?
Oh my God, I love that. Because it goes back to this methodology in improv, which is yes and, which is postponing judgment, right? And allowing for everyone in the room to be seen and all voices to be heard. But within ourselves, we have to start here in order to do that outwardly. And I love this idea. Who was the person you said? Kristen F.
Kristen Neff. Yeah.
Neff.
So she is literally Neff. She is literally the scientist that created, she didn't create self-compassion, but she's the one that did the research to show us how self-compassion can change our lives. So here's just a little interesting tidbit about that. What she was able to prove scientifically is that our minds do not know the difference between somebody else giving us compassion and us giving ourselves compassion. It doesn't know the difference between somebody else touching us and us touching us. So compassionate self-touch. So there's lots of exercises she has us do. And the thing is, we feel really weird when we do them. It feels so weird and so uncomfortable. We're doing them right now in the incubator, which is my group coaching, 16-week group coaching experience that we do twice a year. And I'm like, you guys are going to feel like such weirdos, but do it anyway. And that's with the Brave method, with gratitude, with self-compassion, with all of it. It works. And I don't necessarily even need you to believe that it works as long as you're willing to try it, because it works so well that the results will show up for you as long as you're doing it, even if you're like, well, this is dumb, but I guess I'll do it anyway.
Yeah. And no, I love, because you and I spoke on your show about my own journey to self-love. And I got to tell you, it's a different life. It's a better life.
It is.
And I want to hear, well, we won't spoil it. You got to listen to Heather's show. But I want to talk about your opinion on this, because self-love helps you show up as a better parent, as a better leader, as a better friend. Insert adjective here. So how have you seen, since you have gone through this bravery journey yourself, how have you seen this compassion that you've given yourself show up in those relationships?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the way for me, and this is, and full disclosure, 2022 was probably the hardest year of my life. And it was totally personal. It was all about something specific happening in my personal life. It brought me all the way down to my knees. And I laid there for a while until, and I joke, my word of the year this year is surrender. My word of the year last year was peace. And I laugh and I was like, the universe was like, oh, there will be no peace for you until you surrender. And it just beat me and beat me and beat me until I was like, fine. Okay. I don't have the control. I can't fix this. I have to surrender. And as soon as I did that, things started to get better. Right? Amazing.
Oh, amen. There is a choir. Hold on. Amen. 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 Yes. Keep going. Okay. Sorry. We needed that choir break. Okay.
I think the way that I have seen my self-love show up with the people around me, my loved ones, my clients, everyone, is that when I choose to not take it personally, to slow down, to access my emotions and feelings without judgment, I do that out loud. And people see me do that. And it gives them permission to do the same. With my children, it allows me to, most of the time, because it feels like the rules are easy to apply with client and work and even partners, but hard to apply with kids, to step out and say, this is not about me. This is not a judgment on me. So I'm loving myself. And by doing that, I'm giving them space to figure their own shit out. And I'm here and I love you and we can talk through it if and when you're ready, or I'm going to be over here, right? But you're safe. To feel all the things you're feeling. So teaching them to self-love by loving myself and giving them space and grace to do that. And it's the same with clients. I mean, I push clients in different ways because they pay me to. That's my job. In ways that you can't do with kids because you can't coach your kids.
Yeah.
You can parent your kids, but you have to know when to do what. Anyway, to say, just to share my truth. When I'm struggling, I'm really honest with my clients about it. When I'm celebrating, I'm really honest with my clients about it. I do the same things that I'm asking them to do. And I feel like that's like a magic key. Like I'm not up here on high telling you how to behave to lead a life of abundance or to be as successful as possible because I have it all figured out. I'm doing these things, I'm checking off the checkbox, and we're all doing it together. And I might be doing it in a different way than you, and I might have been doing it longer than you, but we are all in this. And some days are amazing and some days are not amazing, and that's all okay. And if we can acknowledge it and forgive ourselves for whatever it is, it's, the breakdown method, something I'm really passionate about is, oh, what went wrong? This thing was bad. I'm going to take responsibility for my part of that thing. And I'm going to forgive myself and others if I need to. I'm going to make a new plan. And I'm going to get up and I'm going to do it again. And I do that out loud.
Yeah. Oh my God. I love it. Because you're showing, you're not telling, right? You're giving the example. You're walking the walk, not just talking the talk. And that is truly when you see someone who has transformed and evolved, because I'll say this for free. No, but this is not sponsored. Like
free content coming in.
Yeah, here it is. There were many people in my industry who I looked to who had evolved, right? Who I saw walking the walk before I had actually taken the journey myself, before I had three steps in. And I was like, man, that looks like an awesome place. And sometimes there was some comparisonitis because I wanted to get to that place, right? But then when you get to that, once you figure it out, and every journey for every single person listening here today is so completely different. But when you finally make the brave leap, I'm just staring at that book behind you, Heather. When you do, and you find this journey to self-love, you can't fake it. Like you are truly in your authentic self, which I think is so awesome. And I have a question that I want to ask you about this. What is the opposite of this look like? What do you see happen when you don't lean into your authentic self and give yourself compassion? What are some of the things that you've seen?
It's a really big question, but I literally have been there. So when I tell you this, it's not what I think happens, it's what I know happens. We're hurt. We stay small. We allow ourselves to be hurt more often by others because we don't value ourselves. We lack a sense of worthiness. We are not as kind as we would like to be, or maybe even as we think we are towards other people around us, because when you cannot be kind to yourself, you don't have the foundation to be kind to other people. We burn out. We don't have the energy resources to give to other people that we may really deeply want to do because our cup is empty.
Yes. Yes.
And these things are very simple. That does not make them easy. They're very simple. You have to decide you want to. And I really urge everyone to just little bits at a time, break it down into really, really small things. Dip your toe in and then dip the second toe in, and right, you go slowly. One of my favorite things is to say that if all you have to give is 15% and you give 15%, that's 100%. And some days we have a full 100% to give. And some days we have 5. And be honest with yourself and do the best you can there and love yourself through it. And you will show up so much better for everyone else in your life. And that we have to grow. If success is something you desire, any kind of success, marriage, family, business, anything, you have to build from that.
I love this. Oh my God. I love this so much. And I think that is so powerful. So you're saying give what percent that you figure out what percent it is that you can give and give that percent. And that is enough.
And that is enough. And say to yourself, this is what I've got today. And this is enough. I am enough.
Oh my God.
We'll do it again differently tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right. One of my clients, so in case he happens to listen, shout out to BJ. I love you for saying this to me all these years ago. Every day is a Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Yes.
You get to choose who and how and what you're going to be, what is acceptable, what is not acceptable every day. And even more than that, every hour. You can blow it and eat a pint of ice cream 1 minute and go, that's what I chose. And then the next day, eat all vegetables. You get to do what you want. It doesn't mean your diet is blown. You get to choose.
Yes. Thank you, BJ. We love you, BJ. Does BJ want to come on the show? Because that was, I'm going to quote.
Oh, you can have BJ. BJ's a confidence coach. I would be happy to introduce you. He's
BJ,
so much fun.
We love that. That is amazing because also that brings into this idea gratitude, which I know you're passionate about, then the power of it. And when we talk about this idea of bravery, self-love, with that has to come this idea of gratitude and choosing positive, and it's not toxic positivity, choosing genuine, authentic choices that reframe the negative attack thoughts and the judgment. Okay, that was incredible. And I love this concept that we talked about today about welcoming all of your thoughts and feelings without judgment. It is that concept of yes and. We talked about surrender and how you can show yourself more self-love. And I loved this concept Heather told us about giving what percent we could give that day. If it's 15%, give 15%. If it's 5%, give 5%, but celebrate the percent that you can give. Celebrating those small successes will lead to huge results. So here's your homework. I want you to think about the percentage that you're going to give to yourself today. How are you going to show up for you in this moment? Is it 10%? Is it 50%? Are you going to give 100% today? Make that decision. And then I want you to actually give that percentage to yourself. At the end of the day, reflect. Did I give myself what I promised myself? And if you did, find some way to celebrate. Maybe it's a bubble bath. Maybe it's one of those masks that you put on your face that make you look like Jason from those Halloween movies that are actually doing great things for your pores. I don't know. Do something that makes you feel good because you deserve it. Improve it, peeps. Stay tuned. We've got another episode with Heather coming up. As always, you know what I'm going to say. I want you to keep failing, keep improving, because this world, oh my gosh, it needs that special it that only you can bring. I'll see you soon. Hey friend, did you enjoy today's show? If so, head on over to iTunes to rate and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Now, did I mention that when you leave a 5-star review of the Improve It podcast, an actual team of humans does a happy dance? That's right. So leave a review for us on iTunes, screenshot it, and send me an email at info@learntoimproveit.com. I'll send you a personalized video back as a thank you. Thanks so much for listening. Improve it, peeps. I'll see you next Wednesday.